Salute everybody, it's your boy Bullis Gotti. I'm taking a nice walk. You know what I'm saying? I'm out in an unknown location. My low key. It's my low key spot. You know what I'm saying? Nice, peaceful suburban environment. You know what I'm saying? You don't got a lot of drama over here. You know what I'm saying? I got, all different type of neighbors, Caucasian, Asian neighbors, but they're all good people. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I tell people I'm not a prejudiced person. You know what I'm saying? I grew up around all different nationalities of people. You know what I'm saying? Living where I live. But here and there, I want to get into the content and let's talk about the black manosphere and the Just Pearly thing situation, this whole debacle that's going on, and people being mad with Jason Black, and Jason Black being mad at the manosphere, and black people who's angry with the black manosphere, saying that everybody is weak. Well, I want to give my opinion on this. This is my opinion on the whole issues. Okay? Now, mind you, Just Pearly thing, she came out. I had heard about her because she did a one-on-one with Kevin Samuels, and she was being spoke about a lot of times. I've heard, about her platform. She had red pill content, and she was well liked by the black manosphere. So when you had people in the base that basically is upset with her because she has a successful platform, she has 1 million subscribers. And I always tell people, right, the biggest problem with black YouTube and just black YouTube in general is the beefing. Why the black manosphere didn't reach to the manospheres like the white manospheres is because the black manosphere and the red pill community, the black red pill community, just didn't reach to the level that you'll say like the manosphere and the following that an Andrew Tate had, right? And just guys like Joe Rogan, a lot of red pill guys, right? Why I didn't reach to that pinnacle that these platforms reach to. Kevin Samuels was the only one that broke away because Kevin Samuels was clean cut. He was well polished. He was a public relations guy. You know what I'm saying? No. He was an image consultant. Let me correct that. He was an image consultant. So he knew everything about image. He knew everything about professionalism, and he was real good on that. A lot of these guys that had platforms, there was a lot of beefing in this space. There was a lot of, who shot John behavior, a whole lot of, like, everybody throwing shots at everybody. And what messed up the space was the negativity. And that's what goes on with the black, the black sector of YouTube. And it shows. A lot of these brothers can't come together. A lot of them can't really build a platform that had any substance. They can only beef. And that's the problem. So fast forward, you get a Just Pearly things, right? A Caucasian woman, that comes from, white America, and she's giving you her opinion, right? Now, her opinion may upset people. It may upset a lot of the people of the community, black men well as black women. But a lot of things that she says is harsh truth. And when you got guys like Jason Black, right? I heard Jason Black said a lot of harsh stuff. You hear me? On YouTube. I've heard him say a lot of stuff that is, just out this world that is just beyond, like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've heard him one time berated a woman because of the car that she drove. You know, I heard him berated a lot of people in the community. So Jason Black, in my opinion, is kind of a hypocrite. You can't lambaster the black manosphere. You can't get mad with the black manosphere and you with the black authority, and then you actually is talking to have the same talking points as the black manosphere. So with that being said, the whole thing with just Pearly things is that she's a white woman that has a successful platform. Now a lot of people say, oh, but she took from Jason Black. A lot of people on YouTube take for a lot of people. You know, they said Kevin Samuels took from Jason Black. They said Kevin Samuels took from Umar Johnson. But it's how you perfected the game. It's the A game. You gotta understand. Jay-Z said it. Jay said it best. You made it a hot line. I made it a hot song. And when you can make something hot, you can't get mad at a content creator for doing something. Now, with the whole slavery content, I mean, what she said about slavery, I mean, listen, I'm gonna be honest. We in a world where we have a lot of people that, I'm gonna be honest, right? I'm not forcing anybody to believe in my views, okay? When you have people on here, you have black female content creators and even black male content creators, but black female content creators that have disrespected the black community, and I don't hear none of you guys team up and females that's getting on this white woman. I understand you don't like her because she's a Caucasian woman, but she's saying the truth is the truth. I can't knock her for what she's saying. I mean, you listen, a lot of people in the YouTube community, right, and even in the black manosphere, they embraced her with open arms. Now people is triggered and saying, oh, but she's dealing with, you know, Africans and in the UK and West Indians in the UK, and they're not black Americans and they're not B1. Listen, it's not about them being B1. It's not about them being, you know, black Americans or whatever. It's just about them having a conversation. Now, just Pearly Things live in the UK. I think she lives in London. So she lives in the UK. She's American, but she lives in the UK. Now, the cultural difference, you have to understand, we're talking about people that have a cultural, you know, connection to their, you know, to their community. You know, they have a cultural connection with their community. And what a lot of people gotta understand, it's all about culture. You know what I'm saying? It's all about culture. And in those places, and you have to look, in the United Kingdom, everybody deals with culture out there. You know, there's nobody out in the United Kingdom that's not about, doesn't have a culture. They have a culture. You know what I'm saying? In America, black Americans don't have the same type of culture that they got in the UK. So the culture in the UK is pretty much different from the culture in America. You have to understand, interracial dating was very prevalent in the United Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? When it was outlawed in America, it was going on like crazy in the United Kingdom, in London. Interracial dating. You look at interracial dating, back in them days, a lot of military men was dating women interracially. They was dating a lot of these women interracially in the 60s and 50s. You know what I'm saying? Back in those days. So interracial dating is not a fairly new thing in America. You know, when it comes to black men and white women, no, they was doing it in the 40s and the 50s. That's nothing new. But what I'm saying is interracial dating with everybody. So interracial dating is like a fairly new thing. So with the culture, it's just a culture difference. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand that if you take these people, they understand they have a different type of way of culture. You know, they have a different way of thinking about culture. And culture is just totally different than how we think of culture in the UK, because they still hold on to their Caribbean roots and their African roots. In the UK, you know what I'm saying? So they still hold on to their culture. Whereas in America, we just don't have the culture. We just have a lot of beefing and fighting. You know what I'm saying? Now, you got a lot of those African men that do date outside their race. It's very huge in the UK. You know, but when you're dealing with people that have culture, that deal with family values, a lot of these people deal with family values. You know, especially in that UK, in the United Kingdom, in London, they're dealing with family values. So the talking points is going to hit a little different than the talking points here in America. People say a gender war. I don't call this a gender war. You know what I'm saying? What the problem is in America is we don't have no code. We don't have no culture to stay on code. And we just don't have the family value structure because there's a lot of broken homes in the black community, especially in America. So when I listen to her platform, she talks truth. She's not lying. You know what I'm saying? She has valid points. Now, as far as the racism thing, I don't know if she's a racist. I'm not going to call the young lady a racist because I don't know her personally to call her racist. You know what I'm saying? Just because she said a certain thing, I mean, it's not, you have to understand something. Slavery, what people got to understand about slavery, there's a lot of people that got rich off of slavery. If you really look at slavery, down the line, slavery was an economical thing. This is my childhood park right here. Right here, I done did. I'll talk about it later. But slavery was an economical thing. Okay, it only ended because of economics. It didn't end because of they wanted the people to get their freedom. No, it ended because of economics. And that the people felt like we're going to end the slavery to shut these people up because economically it's hurting us in the economics. So it's hurting us in the pockets. So let's free these people, but we really don't want to free them. But what we'll do is, and this is what they never tell you about in history, but this is true facts. What they wanted to do to black Americans, right? What they wanted to do was to ship us over to Venezuela. They didn't want us here. You know, after they gave us our freedom, they wanted to just ship us to Venezuela. And that's what Frederick Douglass said no. You know, and then that never happened. You know, but when you talk about slavery and you just talk about the history of it, we have to be real truthful about it. So when it comes to just pearly things, you know, people just, you know, they had their differences about the young lady. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a conversation. I don't have an issue. So with the whole thing with just pearly things, like I said, is that it's an economics game when it comes to that slavery talk, because then you're gonna have to talk about. So yeah, like it's an economics conversation, because then you're gonna have to talk about the Africans that sold us off. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to talk about all of that. You know what I'm saying? How they was working with the Dutch and the Portuguese and all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a touchy situation. I don't really like to talk about slavery talk, but it's a touchy thing. But with the whole thing with the Just Pearly thing, right? She was embraced by the Black Manosphere. A lot of content creators like her in the Black Manosphere, like Melanie King, you know, MTO, King Richie's, you know, and it's Mr. Fantastic. There's a lot of people that like her. So she has a great following. And me, you know, I'm not a hater. You know, one thing about me, I'm not a hater. You know, Obsidian, he also is a supporter. And, you got the people that's out here that's the critics. That's like, oh, no, I'm not feeling her. The Jason Blacks. I think O'Shea even said something, and many others have said a couple things about her. But I said this, right? A lot of black women in the black manosphere, right? They should have got the support. Six Goddess, Danica Marie, Kendra D, and a lot of Jessica X's and all of them. But here's the thing. Why those women didn't get the support is because they was being disrespected. And not only that they was being disrespected, but they was called derogatory terms like mammies and all of that. So when you calling these women derogatory terms and you basically disrespecting these women, you just mess up your whole platform. And on YouTube, you have to understand that it's a whole lot of people gotta understand. And I think, let's look at it like this, right? When you see Cynthia G, right, or people, other black divestment females on YouTube, right, put other people on they platform, like they'll put white men on their platform to denigrate black men, right? So when the tables is turned and now they have a white woman calling out black women on their BS, where a black woman is mad and triggered, but they didn't see black women didn't step on their A game and called out these Cynthia G type of women, these Nala Cezes and many others that was lambasting and attacking and slandering black men and saying derogatory things like death to black male babies. That's crazy. Those type of topics is crazy. When people are talking advocating murder to children, this is not good for a platform where women is on their platform telling black women to murder their children, and we're not coming together to ban these type of people. These women shouldn't be on YouTube. But like I said, you get mad when somebody of other race, is successful, and then they call you out on your BS. You can't be mad. Me personally, it's like when people say, yo, Vlad this, Vlad that. They mad at Vlad, right? But you can't be mad at Vlad TV. You can't be mad at Adam 22 for them snatching up a market. Got a lot of black dudes. Instead of them beefing, they could snatch up that market. They could snatch up. If they want to be in that lane that Vlad is in, you could do it. Listen, I remember back in the days before any white dudes was doing hip-hop, that hip-hop lane, right? The only white guy that was in the hip-hop, that was doing hip-hop media at the time, and it was on a magazine level, was Dave Mays, right? Cool, I like Dave Mays, right? Dave Mays was like the dude. He was the dude on Source Magazine, you know what I'm saying? And he really was for the culture, right? So when you got a dude like a Dave Mays and many others that is for the culture, that basically the culture gives them a cosign, you know what I'm saying? And it's on some, like, yeah, this is the dude right here. So when you look at a lot of other dudes, yeah, it be culture vulturing, but you gotta understand something. Dudes opening doors for that. Dudes don't help out. You gotta look. Black media don't get support. You can just look when dudes go on the red carpet. They don't support black media. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even think there's no such thing as a real black media no more. Black media was the go-to in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, even in the 70s, 60s, and 50s. Everybody went to black media. Now black media is owned by people that don't look like us. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Ebony, whether it's Essence, whether it's Source, whether it's Vibe, whatever, they're not owned by us, black media. You know what I'm saying? Like BET is not owned by us. So there is no such thing as black media no more. Or even black radio. Like WBLS, for perfect example. Black radio. But now it's not even owned by us. So everything that basically was for us, by us, it's not owned by us. So I cannot be mad at just pearly things when black women and black men fumbled the bag. Well, you could have took over where Kevin Shane was left off. Nobody did that. So you cannot get mad. You know what I'm saying? You can't get mad. You know what I'm saying? People laying back when Andrew Tate. I like the Andrew Tate. I thought Andrew Tate was good. But, people just didn't understand that, we're in a business of understanding that you have to understand that this is all a business. And if you don't play your cards right, man, you assed out, and it's like that, you know what I'm saying? So when I see people going at just pearly things, I'm like, yo, you can't be mad at her for really doing something that a lot of sisters should have stepped up the plate and leveled up. And went at these women that, see, what I think a lot of sisters ain't do, they didn't check these women. And a lot of the men and the women didn't have these platforms shut down. So don't talk about you want to ban and boycott just pearly things when y'all didn't want to ban and boycott a Sinji when she said the disparaging things she said about black male children. Like, what do we put out here where people are basically attacking black men? We the only race of people that come online and expect other races to respect us. When we come online and degrade each other for a click and a view, where we basically attack black men and black women, or, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I hold everybody in the community accountable, black men and black women, because when you look at our community, you gotta start holding everybody accountable. But when you got dudes on here on these platforms, they're not holding themselves accountable for how they act on here. So how do you expect somebody like Just Pearly Things to respect you when you don't even respect yourself? That shit crazy to me. To me, that's crazy. YouTube, they got caught up in this whole matrix and deception to believe that we should be mad because they mad about a white woman, which they open that lane for people to eat off of us because basically they show that there's no unity with us. So how can you even get mad at her when there's no unity with black male content creators? I'm not mad at nobody that's eating off of our community when you dudes y'all not sticking to any codes. You know what I'm saying? I can't go in nobody else's community. I was in a conversation on Clubhouse. And when I listen to how a lot of people from the Jewish community was on Clubhouse sticking together, staying on code. And when it came to the conversation with people challenging them, they basically told the people on the Clubhouse app and in the conversation that you cannot speak for our community and can't tell us anything about what we do because you don't know nothing about our culture. And I said to myself, wow, the way these people can unify together when people talk ill about their community. But when it comes to us, we cannot unify like that because you know why? Because we pigeonhole ourselves and we're basically stuck in narcissism. We're so egotistical, the men and the women, that we will beef with each other just for a click and a view that doesn't amount to anything or mean anything. So we basically selling our soul for a click and a view. When people is out here standing on code, they standing on code. I can't get mad at just Pearly, swooping in and grabbing opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Other nationalities are not allowing you to do that. The Asians are not allowing you to just swoop in there and talk about their culture. You know what I'm saying? And they're not going to allow you to do that because they're not going to make that opportunity. Not to say that you can't talk about their culture, but they're not going to let you eat off of their culture because they're going to say that you're trying to stereotype their culture or you're trying to diminish their culture. And they're not going to come on here and speak ill about their people. So this is why I say, like, when it comes to us as a people, we throw each other under the bus. And it's sad. I remember back in the days, we had a proudness about our culture. You know what I'm saying? And then as time goes by, you just start seeing that people just don't care, And that's why I'm saying that the people, the voices that we have that's speaking for the community is horrible, man. It's horrible. And that's why I tell people, man, you have to really look at what we're talking about and say to yourself, nah, man, we got to do better. We got to do better. So I can't be mad at just Pearly things, man. I think the black manosphere, they fighting the wrong fight. The fight they need to fight is how can we get these people, these women and these men that basically talk ill about black men and that are a virus for our community. Until we call them out, I don't want to hear nothing about, I'm mad with this white woman. You can't be mad at her for speaking the truth. Now, the whole slavery conversation, that's here and on there. I'm not getting into that. You know what I'm saying? That's not even a conversation I will have with anybody that doesn't look like me, because they don't understand and they will never understand. You know what I'm saying? They could speak for what they think. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them are in denial, but I would never have that conversation. But when it comes to conversation of accountability, conversation of how the community should be, yeah, I think we should have a conversation, a dialogue with each other, and